Hello and welcome to week 4 of the 12-week body plan. I do hope that you have caught up with all of the video lessons so far, that you are learning lots, that you are filling out your journal, and that you're getting the benefits from it. This week, we are talking about a really important topic and something that every single one of us will have some experience of at different levels. And it is going to be about emotional eating, stress eating, binge eating, self-sabotage, all of these things, these behaviors that happen, and we don't know why they do and how to overcome them. So that's what we're going to talk about, a little bit of the mechanics of why it happens, understanding what is going on in our lives a little bit more, and how to put some steps in place to reduce. I'm not going to say eliminate, because we probably will get some pleasurable ones from time to time, but also to acknowledge that pleasure ones are absolutely fine. So let's talk about this now. I am going to go through, obviously, our journal as we go. So you will see on your front page now is this little diagram that I've got of a bit of a flow of how these things happen. So, and we'll talk about kind of the same stuff as well when it comes to habits further on down the plan. So we will get an urge. Something will be happening. Something will be causing tension. Something will be triggering us, which will lead us on to taking an action. This action then is going to be eating, drinking, one of those types of behaviors, or even procrastinating, not doing things, which are going to stop us from being the way that we want to be, getting to where we want to be. We'll get that sense of relief, that moment of pleasure, the reason why we've done it in the first place. And then as soon as all of that is over, which is very short-lived, becomes the guilt. So we can see how this can flow and easily happen in our day. It's because we're seeking comfort. Comfort eating, comfort drinking is a thing. I mean, when you think about when we were babies, we were cutched and held tight and fed, and all of these lovely kind of things were going on inside of us, and we will instantly relate to pleasure, to comfort, to safety with these from being a baby. So this is why comfort food is going to be something where you're like, it's warm, this is comforting, I'm in a safe place here right now with this lovely warm apple crumble, or whatever it might be that you have. Like, you don't kind of like get much comfort from a colourful salad, do you? It's quite like invigorating, you feel good from eating it, but you don't get that escape from stuff like you would do from a big hot soup with bread dunked in. I hope your mouth isn't watering right now. Anyway, so again, moving on now to another little diagram where the behavior won't occur without the trigger driving it. And what I've got on this little diagram, make sure you've got it in front of you, is like a couple of circles here now, okay, with different things causing this here. So on the top one, then we've got the behavior. So it's the eating or the drinking. So that is, something that we are doing. That is a behavior then. We've also got our emotions, okay? Our emotions that are going to trigger us. So we will be happy, we will be sad, we will be angry, we can be jealous, we can feel guilt. All of these emotions, which every single one of us experiences, can surface and drive us to take the behavior of eating and drinking, okay? So we will talk about those in a moment now, because this is the very important part of what we need to acknowledge, because a lot of people just have no awareness whatsoever that they are doing these things or why they're even happening. It's never about the food, guys. Whenever you do this thing, it is not about the food. And I would love you to get to a place where you do feel so happy and strong, and you've invested in yourself, that you can recognize what is going on in your life and not use food as the solution, but the solution goes to where the real issue is. Thoughts, we can groom ourselves. So you may be in work and it's been a busy day, and you might think, I so deserve that chocolate. Or I really need to put the petrol in the car tonight. I'm definitely going to put petrol in the car tonight. And you know that when you go and put that petrol in, you're going to be quite hungry on the way home. You can pick up that bar of chocolate while you're filling up at the station. 2 fillings, hey? Petrol and chocolate or crisps or whatever it may be. Very easy to grab hold of these things and catch us at times of vulnerability. You know, we're going to talk about times that we might face ourselves in, these kind of like trigger times, vulnerable times, and how we can protect ourselves from them. And then obviously physical hunger. So we don't just do this emotional eating when we're not even hungry, but we can do it when we are hungry or tired. Now, tiredness is going to come up when we talk about the sleep week, which will be not next week, but the week after. So we'll understand a lot more then about how important our priority of sleep is in our lives for weight loss, for energy, for all of our thoughts, for our strength and everything. It's like we've got food and we've got exercise, which all of us think in our mind, we've got to do all of these things. I want to lose weight and then I'll be happy. And then when I'm happy, I'll be healthy and all of these things. So I have to do that. I've got to eat less. I've got to exercise more. Okay. But you are only going to be able to do these 2 things, okay, consistently with a base of support here. Okay. They're going to like collapse down otherwise. And that base of support is going to be your sleep. Because if you are tired, we all know what it's like when we're tired. We will be like, I just need another biscuit to see me through this next hour, and then have another coffee. And you want highly palatable, highly sugary, highly fattening, delicious tasting food to see us through that. We haven't got any willpower to have the broccoli that we're supposed to be eating because we're so tired. And because we're so tired, we're not doing any exercise. We're just too tired to do it. So this is the base. The sleep is number 1. So again, when we don't get that, that is going to give us physical signals of feeling hungry. So that is what is going to drive us towards our behaviors. Now, when we are feeling sad, you know, a lot of people will feel stress and want to get away from it. So this again is what's going to create this episode, this cycle of binging, overeating, and feeling pretty terrible about it after, shame, guilt, all of those feelings. So what we can see here is 3 reasons why we may be doing these. Number 1, physical reasons. So are you not giving yourself enough food during the day because you're being good, because you're on a diet? Subsequently, not giving your body what it wants. Your body wants to survive, so it's going to rise up the feelings inside your body. Those hormones are going to go up where you are so hungry and you just can't fight it anymore. You haven't got any motivation to fight it. You've lost all of your willpower whatsoever, and you don't care if you end up in a drive-through picking something over that. You've just got to get the food in you. So it is so important to make sure that you time your meals well for you, for your lifestyle. We'll talk about meal timing later on, and you eat enough during the day. Protein, very satisfying, all of your vegetables, carbohydrates, small amount of healthy fats, and that's going to protect you on those physical cues to take the action of your routine of overeating and then, you know, going around in that binge eating cycle. So number 1, making sure that you do eat plenty, because that's just going to help to strengthen you and keep your energy up. Okay. The thoughts, I deserve to have this treat. I deserve to do that. I have been so stressed out this week. I so deserve that bottle of wine, and it's only Tuesday. You can see why people are doing this. They are tired, they are stressed out, and it helps them to relax. You know, momentarily, if you're having a drink of alcohol, then you get that, that's better. And it might even help you to drift off a bit easier with your sleep. However, that is about it. As far as any kind of temporary benefits go, you're not going to sleep as well when you've been drinking alcohol, and you're going to wake up not as rested than if you didn't have it. Now, when it goes to food, again, when we eat food, especially these foods which taste amazing, full of fat and sugar, they are going to release all of these kind of endorphins and signals going off in your brain, thinking this is amazing. Serotonin is up there, and you've got pleasure. All of these wonderful things are going on, and that is why you're doing it. This ice cream is so nice. This chocolate is so nice. These biscuits are so nice. I absolutely love this moment we're here now, sitting down on the sofa, watching a bit of TV. I can't control myself because I'm just loving this so much. You've switched off. You've switched off from the stress. You've switched off from the sadness, from the anger, from the jealousy, from the shame, whatever feelings you're having. And also we can get those happy feelings as well. That's an emotion too. But what happens then is the moment that this last mouthful goes down, instantly you're back in the room. Not only do you still have the problem that was driving you to do the emotional eating, but you've got the guilt on top. So it makes you feel doubly worse then because of what you've done. So again, binge eating, emotional eating is just going to make you feel so much worse. So knowing that it is not about the food, it is never about the food and the drink, it is something beyond that. And this is where, for you to start to move on and reduce down the amount of times you might be having a binge eating moment or a stress eating, emotional eating moment, is to acknowledge what is going on with you. So I'm going to give some examples. You could be having a big bust up with your partner. You hate your partner's fault on everything on this. So to get away from the anger or sadness, you want to switch those negative emotions off. Pleasure, please. Take me away from this. I can't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. I'm going into the fridge. Okay. Again, you might do all of this. It might be, shame, doing it all in private, telling yourself, this is coming on to self-sabotage now. I'm never going to lose weight. I haven't so far. So what makes me think I'm going to do it again? Every time I get this far, I fail. So I may as well do it. Or my partner says I'm fine. Well, that's okay then. Even though you don't feel fine and you're not happy and you want to make the changes. So again, it's all of these kind of thoughts of procrastinating against what you should be doing because you've never got this far. So what's the point in trying? And then, the big bar of chocolate or whatever comes out as well. So we've got some forms in here for you to be filling out. Tasks that you can be doing is first and foremost understanding that when it comes to emotional eating, it is not about the food. It is something that's going on in your life. It could be stress from children. It could be stress from your boss in work. It could be just complete tiredness because you were doing everything. You might actually be quite happy. I'm so happy with my husband. I'm so happy with my children. They're doing amazing with stuff. I was away the weekend, but I was driving this one here and that one there and everything. The dog was fab and my mum is fine. And I did all of this for her and all my friends, I arranged a little night out for us. So I've got all of these things going on. The house is in order. I've got a bit of ironing to do and all of this stuff, things are going on, but I'm just so tired. I just need to have whatever it is. So again, you can see so many things are going on in our lives. So look at what's going on with you. Another example, all of us can have different things. You're in work and you are like this on the computer the whole time. And even though you've packed your lunch and you've taken healthy food into work, you know that there's a little kind of tuck shop or convenience shop or something nearby where you've kind of got into the habit now that it gets to about 3:00 and, all of this work starts to get on top of you a little bit. So you need to have a bit of a break from it and you go to the shop and you pick yourself up some goodies and kind of eat them on the way back. And then you come back and you're like, oh, yay, I can do my work again. Well, that was just boredom. That's a feeling as well. You're bored. You haven't had a break. What you want is to get away from the work. You want to get the oxygen going around your body and have a walk and some fresh air and switch your brain off from doing all of the work that you're doing and think about something else. Get out in nature, get some sunlight on you, look at the trees, have a drink of water. That would give you what you actually wanted. But instead, the food served you that pleasure because you got into the habit of doing it. It's quite nice doing it, isn't it? But again, it's not serving you towards your goals. So recognizing, complete awareness of what is triggering you, what routine have you got into, what habits have you got into, and changing that routine. So this is where you can change absolutely everything. Acknowledgement, first of all, deciding in your mind that you are going to 100% work on overcoming, controlling, reducing these emotional binging episodes and changing your response. So if you've got a trigger of coming home from work stressed every single day, you've got your routine, shoes get kicked off, bag gets chucked there, you go into the kitchen, you put the kettle on, go straight into the cupboard, and you start eating whatever whilst you're cooking your dinner. Then change that. So as an example of what you could be doing, maybe you are over hungry at that time as well as tired and stressed, which is probably a lethal combination of knowing that actually you need to have a healthy snack in your bag, your fridge, next to your desk or in the car that you can be eating before you get home to prevent you from doing that, to keep your energy up, because you know you're not going to be getting dinner for another 2 hours, but you're not going to be able to wait that long. So again, it's prepping for these moments. And then everything works out. You get the reward of reducing how often you're doing it. Or if it is something like conflict with coworker, partner, friend, instead of reaching for the fridge, know that that is what's triggering you. And what's going to be a solution? It's going to be having a conversation. It may even be not being too proud to apologize for something, so we must always recognize that when it comes to relationships, that there's two people involved minimally. There could be other people in little groups, but in a relationship that you've got with somebody, there's you and the other person. Now you're going to contribute some stuff just the same as the other person is. So we are never always right. We will always be doing things or need to give an apology. So never be too proud for that, because then that can get you away from, being more self-aware, accepting responsibility for yourself and your actions, and then not getting stressed out then. And then the consequences being eating or drinking. So you can see lots of things you can be doing to acknowledge that then. So I've got just down by here, many have no awareness of how binging happens. 1 minute, they're not planning to eat. The next, they've done it and they don't know why. And it's because of what is going on in life. It's because of what people are being triggered by. It's because they're over hungry and overtired. It's because they've got into a habit and they've groomed themselves into, thinking that doing some of these things is fine. Or emotions are just all over the place and need addressing. Okay, so have a good think about what drives your behaviors. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a table here, recognizing true hunger and emotional hunger. And always remember that you will never satisfy any emotional hunger with food. Okay, so physical hunger, it'll develop slowly over time. So we kind of know that feeling, don't we? Whereas emotional hunger, it comes suddenly and abruptly. Didn't expect that, ended up eating the chocolates, So it's a big urge, it's impulsive, and it happens there and then. And you're like, whoa, what just happened then? But again, we can learn from this and change it. Physical hunger, you desire a variety of food groups. Emotional hunger, you crave only certain foods. You need to have some chocolate. You need to. It is like intense. It's a bit obsessive over this item or whatever it is that you want to have. Whereas when you're genuinely hungry, you will quite happily eat a big salad with lots of colors on and, chicken and salad. Whereas if you're like stressed out, you don't want a chicken salad. You want that huge bar of chocolate and ice cream. Physical hunger, you feel a sensation of fullness and take it as a cue to stop eating. Whereas with emotional one, you may binge on food and not feel a sensation of fullness and just keep on going until it's all gone, even though halfway through you're already feeling full. Because you're not thinking straight. You're not being aware of what's going on. Physical hunger, you have no feelings about negative feelings about eating. Emotional hunger, you feel guilt or shame about it. So again, if you were just eating a normal meal and fueling your body, it is going to be a normal positive response. But if you're doing something which is in private and you're kind of thinking, I shouldn't have done that, and I feel a bit embarrassed, shamed, I am such a loser, all of these negative thoughts, then that's going to be one of those episodes where you're trying to feed your emotions and it isn't working. That being said, all of this is very multi-layered, very complicated, and I'm no therapist or psychologist or anything. Everything that I say here now is a guide. But what I would say is, from the tasks that we'll talk about now, if you feel that they're serving you and they are helping you, then that's fantastic, because maybe all you've ever needed is to be a bit more aware of why these things happen and what to do about them. But if you find that you're having more than one or two of these binge eating episodes per week, then there's absolutely no harm in speaking with a professional and asking for help. Now, like I said, I'm not a counsellor or anything. However, if you think, do you know what, I think that I need a bit of further help to help me with this, then privately inbox me and we can resource someone together for you to, I'm a personal trainer. You guys and lots of people come to me for help to physically train yourself. And there is no harm and no shame in needing to have a mental trainer, a brain trainer, a mindset trainer to help you to manage your thoughts better. And I hope in the future that this is something that people will actually become more open to share, so that everyone realizes, do you know what, this isn't a bad thing. People don't take selfies with their psychologist and post it over Instagram, but they will with their personal trainer or after they've had a session, So let's hope that things do change, because I think that mental health is something that is being spoken about a lot more now. Okay, I'll answer some of the questions of typical things I've had sent to me before. When I fall off the wagon, one biscuit turns into 5, then turns into the packet, plus some crisps and some toast. Why can't I control myself? So again, this is where somebody has gone into autopilot, quite possibly haven't been having good regular meals, feeling satisfied from them, and just getting into a big habit of just having the one, and then just everything goes crazy. So stress will have triggered that. Lack of planning with meals, so physical hunger might have been the original cue, and then obviously the stress and all of these feelings, because we'll have more than one emotion. We can feel sad and stressed and angry, and need to feed all of these emotions with food, which won't work, of course. It never will. Not one episode will work to help that. Only dealing with the root cause is ever going to help it. So again, not being aware of what's going on, being triggered by something, get into the habit and the routine of doing that, having very simple things to kind of spontaneously eat is also going to, make it easier to have this. We'll talk about strategies of helping with things as well next. I find preparation hard, especially when I'm tired. What can I do? Don't wait until you're tired. So, a good day to do food prep could be on a Sunday, where maybe you've had a bit of a lie-in, you're a little bit more rested, you've got a food shopping which is filled with all good stuff, and you are thinking clearly and straight. But if you're doing something when you're tired, you're not going to, you just want something fast, you just want something quick. And again, these convenience foods are the ones that people do tend to go for and grab quite quickly then. So when it comes to preparation, it does mean that yes, if you're going to do it, then do it at a time when you're feeling strong, because you kind of need the prep to support you when you're not prepared, to support you when you're tired and when you're stressed, so that you can just grab something and heat it up, or you can take something out of the defroster, and not the freezer, and defrost it. So again, knowing that you need to, when you're in a good place and you're feeling well rested and full of energy, that is where you do the things to serve you, so that the strong version of you is there to support the weaker, more vulnerable version of you, the tired version of you. And knowing that you've got a devil and an angel on your shoulders, and your angel is there to support this one, because this one's not a devil, this one's just a tired, stressed out person, So it's, the angel version of you needs to have this one's back and support and help out. Stress eating is the hardest thing for me. I feel like I just can't focus on anything until I've eaten all of the food. How can I stop? So again, I get that, it's number one, if it's in your house, oh my gosh, nobody's going to stop thinking about something. It's I'm here in the fridge, come and eat me. So again, don't have these things around you. But when you're stressed, start to pick up some routines and some habits of things you can do to serve yourself. So next time, go for a lovely walk, call a friend, take some time out and go to the cinema, or go and have a spa day, book yourself in for a treatment, even something simple like having your nails done, having an early night, telling yourself, I'm so excited tonight, I'm going to go up to bed, I'm going to put something on TV, or I'm going to get my book out, I'm going to light a candle, I'm going to put my lamp on, I'm going to make the environment really lovely, and I am going to chill out. Stress eating needs a lot of sleep, okay? Stress eaters need a lot of sleep and that relaxation side of things. So again, it's knowing that there's so many kind of like options you could choose from to deal with your stress. Food by here, you're going to feel terrible after that one, by the way. Spa day, walk with a partner, quality time, sleep, and all of these things. Choose from all of these options, which are going to give you the benefit, and section off a time to deal with the stress. What is stressing you out? Are you overworked? Do you need some time off? Do you need to have a conversation with your boss? Are you doing too many chores around the house and everybody is taking the mick out of you? And every time you go to the kitchen, there's more mess out there and you've only just tidied it up. Have a conversation with your family. You should be a team. Get people to help you so you feel less stressed and you're not being triggered by these types of things. So again, not using food as that thing. Acknowledgement of what is going on, change the routine, get the reward, the real solution to what is triggering you. How can I talk myself down from buying lots of cookies and chocolates, etc., when I'm feeling stressed? Again, this is going to be self-grooming, so you'll probably find that when you're stressed, you go to the shop to get them to deal with it, and have eaten the whole packet of chocolate hobnobs in the car before you've even got home. Not paying any attention to it at all. Let's say you were driving, can't even remember eating number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, making a mess everywhere. Very annoying when next time you get in your car. It is just, it's so mindless, isn't it? It's like, I wasn't even there. I wasn't even paying any attention. It is such an obsessive behavior. It's like, so even were the pleasure signals even given, something will have been, but, it is not going to be that. So even when you've bought the biscuits, now this would take some immense willpower, but you could stop yourself from doing that. However, that all depends on how much you've been practicing this, doesn't it? So again, one of those things, and all of these things now are all things that are going to need acknowledgement. They're going to need practice and writing these things down. So that is why I've got this stress eating acknowledgement table for you to fill out. So we've talked a lot about this, and it's going to be quite simple for you to do now based on what we've been talking about. So you're going to get the trigger. So what is it that was winding you up or making you do that? What was the cue that made you do the behavior? Okay, what would your usual routine be? Eat the chocolate, bake a cake and eat all of it, whatever your thing is. Get the bottle of wine out. What's today's response? Today I acknowledged what it was. I did this instead. The result, what are your feelings? You will always feel so much more amazing. All of us feel proud when we've done things that are going to serve us better. So again, writing down that, so you can always look back on this, put things in black and white, and how are you feeling today? If you just put a smiley face on there, something that you were doing things to serve yourself, investing in you, investing in new behaviors, so you can help to get towards your goals. It's always going to help. And also, I've got a little food table here for you to fill out, so you can see that you're eating regular foods. You're not allowing yourself to get this physical hunger cues, and then subsequently, self-sabotaging or emotionally eating afterwards then. Okay, so meal timings. Now, this is important. Now, number one, when it comes to meal timings for weight loss, it really doesn't matter how many meals you have a day. You can have 1, you can have 12 meals a day. It really doesn't matter as long as you're eating less calories. However, making sure that you eat regularly throughout the day and making sure that you eat enough at your meals are going to reduce down those times where you leave yourself get too hungry and then you have a big binge eat. So I want you to just write down how many meals do you eat per day, how satisfied do you feel from them, and what adjustments do you think you could make to your eating plan to help you feel more satisfied. So again, you might need to get a 4th meal in there if you're only eating 3 to prevent you from getting too hungry that you go to the garage and buy some food that as soon as you get in, you're raiding the kids' goodies, which aren't for you, they're for the kids, but you always end up eating them anyway. So you can see all of these things that are going on in your life. Now, your lifestyle is completely different to mine and all of the other girls in here. So it is going to mean you need to be a bit of a detective on what is going on in your life and how you can find solutions to your problems, your moments, and learn from them. Get better results, get the rewards, and slowly break away from these emotional eating episodes. So on that note, that does mean that I've covered everything here for you. I really do hope that helps and makes you think, I never considered it like that. I need to stop doing this and I should deal with things a bit better. Many of us don't like conflict or addressing things, but it's going to be far better to learn to do those types of things and have more self-awareness than to be running into the shop all of the time and getting the things that are just going to make us feel more miserable. On that note, if you've got any questions about today, please do send them to me, comment on threads that I've put into the group. Make sure you print this out, make sure you fill out your trigger form, and make sure you work towards changing your routines and habits and breaking away from those emotional eating episodes. Thank you for watching. See you in the group.